Hello, everybody, and welcome to Beyond Food Podcast number 43 or 44. I have no idea because I don't know what I'm doing. So, guys, we're going to do another episode of Going Unedited. I wrote down a list here of things I want to speak about, and we're just going to go with the flow. If you guys are new to this podcast, my name's Jose Rojas, and this podcast is called Beyond Food Market. It's the journey of Beyond Food Market, what it is. And I started doing the podcast and videos. I'm in the basement. It's a little chilly right now. But I started doing this podcast because my mentor, Gary Vaynerchuck, let me get this here, put it here like so. My mentor, Gary Vaynerchuck, was like, hey, if you want to do anything, you first had to get noticed. He was always preaching about going on social media, just getting on social media, just getting out there, getting seen, getting noticed. And so he would always preach this years ago. Like I started listening to Gary Vaynerchuck in 2018. And I think I posted my first video in 2018 on YouTube. And so it's been a journey. It's been like 5 years now, coming on 5 years. I'm like, I can't believe I've been doing this for that many years. Like, I'm like, what the fuck, dude? Like, I had said this on my podcast, but I literally feel like I'm like on a Groundhog Day. You know, like, I don't know why. I just feel it's like Groundhog Day over and over the same thing. But anyway, I should have brought a sweater down here. Now, I'm not going to pause it. Well, I guess I could pause it. All right, I think I'm going to pause this. Okay, we're back. I went upstairs, got some water, got some tea, got a little shirt on, so I feel a little better. And I literally forgot where I left off, but let's just get started. This is another podcast. If you're following this journey, this is a journey of an idea called Beyond Food Market. And it started when I was about 245 pounds, and I was playing at the park with my daughter. I was having trouble breathing. And I was having trouble breathing. And I had to stop doing everything. I had to sit down, catch my breath. I was thinking about my life, how I was when I was younger, and I just felt like a weird feeling in my left side. I was just like getting kind of scared. I thought that was it. So I was able to catch my breath, regain myself, my composure, went home, and I said I had to change. That was my rock bottom, and I started eating a little bit better from there on. And on this journey of losing 90 pounds, I saw something on 60 Minutes about food deserts and what happens to residents who live in these areas known as food deserts. And I live in Chicago-Lawn, which is considered a food desert. Now, food desert's an area of the country where it's hard to get nutritious food for a number of reasons. But basically, there's a small amount of food in these areas. There's not a lot of produce, a lot of vegetables and fruits that are readily available at a good price. So when I saw this and I saw the outcomes of what happens to the residents, because now I'm like, oh my God, the outcome is poor health, a shorter lifespan. And I was like, that's fucked up. So I was like, I wonder if I could solve that. What if I could come up with a solution for that, right? And so it was always in the back of my mind. And at that time I was enjoying the angel's lettuce. So one day I was enjoying the angel's lettuce again, and it just popped in my head, what if we did this? And it evolved from an idea of just being like I thought of a vending box, like the little video DVD things. You could just pull out fruit from there. And then it just started evolving from like, what if we opened up a whole big store? And then started like a whole big company. I was like, what the fuck? And then I met with the mentor, and I told her like all my ideas, and she kind of like condensed it. She's like, here's what we gotta do. Here's basically what I see. I'm like, okay. So my idea was, here we go. I'll show it to you guys. This is my prototype. This is my version of my idea. Now this idea, I guess I didn't even talk about that. So once I saw the idea of, then I talked about the prototypes. And this is the idea. Now it's a cashless, secured vending box that can sell nutritious foods, allergy-friendly nutritious foods. And that's the idea I came up with. So I'm like, how the fuck am I going to do this? So I went to Inglewood and I took a class there on small business. And I met with some of the mentors there, talked about my idea to the class. A lot of great feedback from the class. They're like, yeah, we need that here. We need healthy food. And a lot of people would come up to me and just say, I like your idea. Keep going, keep going. I'm like, okay, this is good feedback. I was in ground zero, Inglewood, Chicago, Illinois, Inglewood, Illinois. So getting the feedback from all these other entrepreneurs there, I was like, okay, that's great. This is a good sign. So I pitched my idea when I was it was called Operation Hope. And I pitched my idea there. I blew it. I blew it. And I was like, fuck, I messed it up. So after I left there, I was like, okay, what do I do now? Because I blew that pitch. And I was like, what do I do now? And then I heard of another pitch thing called, I forgot it. Let me look for it. Hold on. So it was called Tech Rise. I had pitched for Tech Rise. And I blew that pitch. And I was like, fuck. Because the first pitch, I really didn't know what I was pitching. Then the second pitch, I still didn't know what I was pitching. But my mentor really helped me whittle it down. So then I was like, I'm on TikTok and I'm like, hey, I messed up. I'm going to keep going. And then I had David Meltzer was talking about how he has a show. Because I came across David Meltzer because of Gary Vaynerchuck. So I'm listening to Gary V. He's like talking about this. And then he came across David Meltzer. And I started listening to David Meltzer because he came from like a business point of view into a more metaphysical point. And I was like, oh, that's interesting. That's kind of what I dig. So he had a show called 2 Minute Drill. He's like, hey, we're taking contestants. Go sign up. You can pitch for $50,000. And I'm like, fuck, yeah, let's do that. So I submit it. And then I'm thinking all this like law of attraction. I started listening to Abraham Hicks. And I started thinking about David Meltzer and pitching. And dude, what did you fucking know it? He calls me. Then they're like, we got a spot open. You got to pitch in like a week. In like 3 to 4 days or something like that. I'm like, all right, no problem. Because I was ready from the first pitch, but then I had to modify it. So it was learning. I had to modify some shit, so that kind of messed me up. So then I go on Dave Meltzer's show, let's go back. So the law of attraction. So I'm thinking in my mind, because I submitted, I'm like, okay, thank you for the law of attraction. Come on, we got to pitch. And boom, he calls me. I'm like, fuck, this law of attraction stuff is good. And so that was very interesting to me. I was like, that's crazy. So, because again, I started listening to Abraham Hicks. And then I go on the TV show, like, all right, Jose, take it away. And I'm like, well, they didn't say take it away. That's another story. But anyway, so I take off and I'm legit lost through the whole pitch. I'm like, I remember at one point I was here, but I had like an outer body experience because my body was like right here on the side of me. And I was looking at myself like this. I'm looking at myself speaking. I'm like, holy shit, Jose, you have no fucking clue what you're saying. And I'm having a conversation with this other dude. And I'm like, you're right. I don't even know. I'm like, what the fuck am I I'm literally saying, what am I actually saying? Because I can hear words coming out of my mouth. Literally coming out of my mouth, and I'm like this, having a conversation. I'm like, dude, I have no fucking clue what I'm saying. I'm like, I can't even look at my phone because I had the phone to the side, guys, because I was like, maybe I could look at the phone like kind of like a prompt, but I was like, my eyes were all like I couldn't. I don't know what it was. I completely bombed it, dude. After that, they were all super extremely nice because they knew I totally just fucked it up. So nothing but courtesy from all of the judges, and my day went on. That following day, I was like, what the fuck? I was like, what happened? I thought I was ready, but I wasn't. So then I'm like, all right, fuck it. What am I going to do? I'm like, all right, let's get back to TikTok, because Gary Vaynerchuck says you can do, because I've been on TikTok since, I don't even know, 2018 maybe. I started. Gary Vee said get on it, and man, I've been on there for like 4 years. About that. So anyway, I get on TikTok. I'm like, I'm just gonna get on TikTok because TikTok changes people's lives. Every fucking day I'm on there, somebody's lives are changing. So I'm like, I'm gonna get on TikTok, and it was going great, but then like, more and more people are getting on the app, and my quality isn't that good because that's another thing, guys. I'm not fucking like what the fuck, dude? Like, I'm not a social influencer. Like, I don't make content. Look, I'm 48 years. I was 48 years old like 4 years ago. I was 46, something like that. 46 years old, and Gary's like, go on TikTok, go on LinkedIn, go on all the channels, and I'm like, all right. So I start going on all the platforms, and one of my videos popped off on TikTok, and that kind of jump started everything. But what it is like, who's gonna watch you if you're not producing content that's entertaining or brings some kind of value or something interesting, right? So I literally have been trying to learn. Like, I literally feel like I'm almost like, it's almost crazy because it almost feels like I'm becoming like a social influencer, like one of these people that has like it's weird. It's weird because I hit like, it's like people are following me and commenting and showing love and sending me gifts, and some companies have reached out and sent some gifts to me. It's very interesting because I see what Gary Vaynerchuck's been speaking about, like the power of not the power, but what an influencer can do. I mean, people are starting brands here, so I feel comfortable staying on this course because I just feel that the upside is there. Even though I do try to put content on my other platforms, one thing I also discovered too, I don't really speak about this, but being on TikTok, I've discovered something called ADHD. I just start seeing more and more of these videos. I'm like, why are they popping up on my For You page? Why am I looking at this stuff? And I was like, what the fuck? That's exactly how my mind works. So now that that's self-diagnosed and that's how my mind works, I don't worry about that. I'm just like, fuck it. This is me. This is who I am. Like, what am I going to fucking do? I'm 51 already. It is what it is. I'm sure there's techniques that I'm going to have to learn or just better try to focus. I have been doing a few things to just try to help me focus. Try to keep some sort of I'm shivering here. Some sort of schedule, if you will. My dogs help me a lot, tremendously keep me on a schedule because they have to run in the morning, in the evening. I have to feed them. So they help keep me on a schedule. So that is it. That's the intro of Beyond Food Market, what it is, me chasing a dream. And the reason I want to bring this idea to bring healthy food into underserved communities is because of my personal journey. Because I lost 90 pounds. I went gluten-free, went dairy-free, went vegan, and saw what it did for me. Now, I'm not trying to shove this diet onto people, but this diet, almost anyone can eat it. Almost anyone can eat this diet. Now, if you have like maybe a nut allergy or soy allergy, maybe not. But if you eat meat, you can still eat these foods. It's not going to compromise your nutrition at all. I mean, you can have a smoothie. You can have some rice and beans. You can have some salad. So that's what this idea is. And this is the reason I'm on TikTok. This is the reason I'm on social media that I'm putting on here. Because first of all, my life's been kind of fucked up because I've had gluten issues, which made me tired and sleepy. I could never do anything. I was always tired. I've gotten in trouble from jobs. I've lost jobs because I've been tired and late. So I never really could hold a job. I mean, I was always sick. I was always tired. I was sleeping. I would sleep 12, 15, 16 hours a day and still wake up tired. And that's the real reason that I really want to help people, because I know there's people out there that are suffering the way I suffer that don't know. And another thing I discovered on my gluten-free journey, what I discovered is Spain introduced wheat flour during the colonization of Mesoamerica, which I thought was interesting. So let's get started and talk about something that I want to talk about. Again, I don't even know what podcast this is, so let's get started. We're going to talk about law of attraction. I don't even know if I talked about this, but I had 4 puppies. Let's talk about law of attraction since we know about Abraham. So you guys already heard about the story, what Behind the Food Market is, our journey, and where we are currently now. So right now, let's talk about really quick. Right now, I still have the idea, like this. You know, I have it set up right here, little mock-up. I still have the idea, and I still think it's possible. And so I'm just waiting to, I think I said last podcast I want to try and start leveraging my TikTok following. And I think I'm going to try and do that even more. I don't know, dude, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. You know, that's the thing. I'm fucking, I'm trying to learn how to be a social content creator, make content, and you know, it's just, it's like learning a fucking job or learning a skill. So that's where we are now. And I think I'm going to I think I can try to leverage this somehow, some way, and I'll figure it out. I'll figure it out. But let's talk about the podcast, what it's going to be about. It's going to be about law of attraction because I've been listening to Abraham Hicks. So let's talk about law of attraction. So let's talk about my puppies. 7 months ago, my baby girl, Gila, our baby dog girl, she had puppies from my first dog, Loki. My dog, Loki, he's 4 and he was 3, and they had puppies. And so before this, I was talking about law of attraction. So I would always say to the law, once, let's backtrack. My sister used to live here, and she had a dog. And then her daughter was gifted another husky, so they had 2 huskies. But as time progressed, me and Loki got a good bond, and so I asked my niece if I could have him, and she said, "Sure, you can have him." So I kept him. He became my dog. So Loki and my sister's dog, Sadie, would always run. I would run with them every day. We'd go running. So one day she moves out with her boyfriend. So Loki was lonely. He was always sad. Like, I would go on bike rides and he'd just be there sad. And I'd be praying to the universe. I'm like, please send me a friend for him, a boy dog that he can play with and have fun with, right? I'd be saying to the universe, bring me one for my dog. So months later, in November, we get a call. Somebody, would you like to take our red-haired husky? And I said, I sure would. And this is from my niece. Well, my step-niece, I guess you can call her. She moved on and she got married, and she had an extra dog, so she gave her to me. So then I had Loki and my dog girl. So I was telling the universe to send me a boy dog, but this girl dog would do, because I was also saying to the universe, send me a redhead, right? Anyway, so I was, then a dog came, and I was like, okay, that's fine. You know, we'll work with this. So then I'm like, he has a friend now. But he kind of I don't know what it was, it just didn't seem right. So I was like, okay, come on, universe, send me another dog. I could probably do 3 dogs. So next thing you know, my dog gets pregnant, and I'm like, oh shit. She gets pregnant, pops out 4 puppies. And so every day I would tell the universe, I'm like, universe, take care of my doggies to make sure no harm comes to them. And I would say that every day. And so what happened is 2 of my dogs got into our garden and ate some spoiled fruit and vegetables that had mold on it, because I was composting in the back. I would just throw the back. They would eat some fruits and vegetables, and I'd throw them in the back, because they were really into fruits, and they loved it. And so they ate that. 2 of them got really sick, and then they ended up dying. And then the 3rd one caught parvo because of that, and she ended up dying. And my 4th dog survived because we gave him medication. Not medication, we gave him black seed oil and oil of oregano, wild oil of oregano. And that really saved him, I think. I'm pretty sure it did. But my point is, every day I'd be telling the universe, protect, because I was always, when they were small, I was like, I don't want to bring them out. What if they get attacked? What if they get jumped? What if something bad happens to them? So it's always in my mind. And then I was like, later on, I started discovering that the law of attraction doesn't know if it's bad or good. Because I was just thinking, I don't want anything, because I was so afraid. Like, what if they get hurt? I want to protect them. I want to make sure nothing happens to them. And so I kept all that was in my head. So that's what I was pulling out to the universe. So every day I'd be like, Lord, please protect them and make sure no harm comes to them. So when I was saying the harm word, like that was coming to them. So again, you don't have to believe in law of attraction. Again, I listen to Abraham Hicks, and I'm really starting to believe in that. So I feel like whichever direction you may feel it goes, negative or positive, in our physical manifestation right now that we see, it's still part of the universe. And we attract what we think about. So I was like, okay. So then that's helped me, because I'm like, okay, I don't want to talk that way. So I was able to start shifting my thoughts better. So that helped with that contrast, if you will. So it's more positive now. And guess what? Now my dog, Loki, has a male dog to play with. So all that, what I'm trying to say is all that I've observed with my eyes, I felt like that was a journey, because I had asked for Loki to have a dog, and all that, finally got him a dog. But I didn't know I had to go through all that stuff, all that beautifulness, all that pain, if you will, that some people feel. But again, that's the law of the universe, and I'm like, fuck, okay, that's it. That's how it works. So that's going to be a good segue into talking about what we have to talk about. And we're going to run through this. We've been on this podcast for 21 minutes. So let's talk about, okay, the first one was a podcast, and now Loki has a puppy. Good. So again, I feel like my content is evolving. I guess it's just a natural process. You do get better. You will get better. So I think that helps. And I think I'm starting, again, I think I talked about this. I feel like I'm starting to become a content creator. Haven't worked out in the gym since July, but I still feel decent. One more thing too. My mentor, David Meltzer, guess what? Because I'm still doing the law of attraction. He friended me on LinkedIn. Now he's my friend on LinkedIn. He can see all my posts. He can see everything. And I'm like, fuck, now I'm almost afraid to post on LinkedIn because he's going to see it. But maybe I should post because I know he's going to see it, right? So anyway, I'm feeling great for the audience that I'm starting to build, because I feel like I'm starting to get you know what's crazy? Like barely right now, I got nearly 170,000 followers. And just now, I'm starting to feel like I'm growing something. Just now. Like, that's crazy. It's like in my head, I keep thinking, like, I think it's the unworthiness. I think it's that unworthiness. Like, you know, I gotta start thinking worthy. I'm worthy. I'm worthy to receive the love and support. You know, I gotta start thinking positively. So I'm feeling great for this opportunity. Like, this is an opportunity, guys. And I don't know if you guys, like, I listen to Gary Vaynerchuck. This is the slow game. This is the game of just kind of, not grinding, but I guess grinding, but building, going deep, getting a base. So this is where I'm at right now. And also, like, when I look at, like, the follower count, it's almost like body dysmorphia again, because I feel like, I guess it's just, I don't know, it's just weird just seeing that. And maybe it's just because I've never posted I've never been on social media. I remember when Facebook came out when I was in college in 2001, and well, I graduated in 2004, but like in 2002 or 3, everybody was talking about it, and I got on it. I got an account, and I never understood it. But now, from this point of view, from like the Gary V point of view, from trying to become a brand, that's what I'm trying to ultimately do, become a brand. So that's what I've been working on. And another thing too, because people always say give back. Gary V and David Meltzer, they do free stuff. They just give out free stuff. So I started doing free gluten-free training every Friday morning. Hey Loki, my doggy's here. Every Friday morning, I do gluten-free training for about 30 minutes to about an hour and a half, whatever it takes, about 30 minutes to an hour usually. And if people I just talk about gluten-free, the journey. People can comment any questions, ask your questions. I let the replay show. And so that's interesting. That's another thing I'm doing. Again, just trying to give back, create a meal plan. Again, trying to give back and just giving it away. Not even trying to monetize or sell it. Hold on. Yes, buddy? Okay. So these are things I'm doing. Again, guys, you gotta serve people. So this is what I feel how I can start serving people. And I'm not just gonna try to do more and more and more. You know, like one of my mentors said, who was it? I forgot. But your reward is in direct proportion to the people you serve, or something like that. I don't know. Anyway, it just talks about you got to help people and serve them. All right, so let's talk about this. And you know what's weird? I had another dream. I had a dream of one of my ex-girlfriends, and then one of my two separate dreams. One of my ex-girlfriend that we ended up being kind of cool, and then one of an old acquaintance, and I don't even remember the old acquaintance's name. But every time I have these weird dreams, it's just weird. It's interesting to me. So I don't know if I told you this on my last podcast, but I want to do a podcast with Elizabeth Alfano. Well, guess what? We did it. I did it. So I was on my phone, had the podcast. It was a magnificent podcast. She had some amazing things to say. I was like, oh, this is going to be killer. And I said goodbye and hung up. And then I went to go play the video. No audio. No audio. You heard right. No audio. I think it's a Zoom thing. So I messaged her back. I said, hey, I messed up. Can we do it again? She never contacted me again. So I could email her, but a little piece of me is kind of like, I think it's that fear thing again. I'm like, am I worthy? Is she going to want to take time to fucking do another podcast with me? So I just got to maybe suck it up and just email her. But it was such a great podcast, and it was beautiful. So I messed that up. And you know what's crazy? When she first got on here, she's like, is this your first podcast? And actually it wasn't, because I had podcasts. I had interviewed one of my followers like a year before. So technically it wasn't, but it was my first podcast for my 3-minute food podcast on TikTok. And I was like, yeah, it is. It really was at the time. And I was, and I don't even know, but anyway, I fucked it up. So now I checked it. I put it on the computer, made sure the recording's on, checked the settings, did all that. I guess I should have did a little more due diligence prior to going on Zoom, because I think I've only been on Zoom a few times, once on the phone and once on the computer. So messed that up. And oh yeah, dude, we're about to hit 170,000 followers, and we just hit 3 million likes on our channel. So that's very cool. And I've come to this is kind of like the last thing we're going to talk about, but I've come to the kind of like the theory that I'm not going to force this anymore. Like, I'd be grinding and trying to make content. I mean, I still kind of do, but I'm trying to focus more on letting go of the oars and aligning with source. If you listen to Abraham Hicks, you know what I'm saying. So I'm trying to just align up and let the universe do the work for me. I know that sounds kind of crazy, but I'm going to go that route. And it kind of goes against everything that I've been really doing. I mean, I remember like 2 years ago when I first started, I'd be doing like 6-7 hours of sleep, 6 hours of sleep for months and months. I feel like it's been years. It probably has been years. But it's just grinding, just trying, because again, the ADHD kind of like it, you know, if you ever seen videos of that, it's kind of like I'll literally be doing something like this. I'll be like, let's sit down and make a video. And I'm like, wait, did I check my email? Wait, did somebody comment on my TikTok? Wait, and I'll be walking around. So it takes a long time to produce for me. So maybe one day I'll have a team that can do that for me, that can focus like that. And I know that it's possible, because when I used to live with a roommate, he said to me, Jose, I think you have ADHD. And I was like, get the fuck out of here. I ain't got no fucking ADHD. He's like, here, try this. And I was like, what is it? It was like Adderall. That's what it was. It was Adderall. And I tried it, and I remember sitting in the computer doing some work, and I remember just going, I heard this, it was like, and it was silence. And here I am clicking away. And I was like, that's very interesting. That was weird how it just kind of like, now that in retrospect, now I'm thinking about it, because I was like, wow, that was crazy. It was almost like we were doing, because I used to partake in adult substances as well. It was almost like we were doing some skiing for our noses, if you know what I mean. And that's what it felt like. So, interesting. Anyway, so that's going to be our podcast. Again, I don't know what I'm doing. Okay, let's think positive. I know what I'm doing. I'm getting into alignment with Source instead of trying to grind it out like I have been. I've been trying to do the work when I should be letting Source do the work for me. So that's what I'm going to be focusing on, guys. Just want to give you an update. I didn't do a year-end review, and we're already into February. So I have not done a podcast in a long time. So this has been a while. So I think that's been all that's been happening. I think we've spoken enough. I think 31 minutes of our podcast. We talked about everything I want to talk about here, the law of attraction, where my story is, doing free training, and I guess I'm just producing, just making more and more content, trying to become a better content creator, literally trying to become a better content creator, because you don't know, I mean, the content creator space is phenomenal now, beautiful. Again, I'm not trying to do the grinding part, I'm trying to do the aligning part now. So let's align with Source and let us attract what the universe has. Okay, everybody. Thanks for listening to my podcast. Give me a follow on all our social media platforms. Sign up for notifications on everything. And, dude, now that I'm doing this sign off right now, I literally was talking. I'm like, holy shit, I almost sound like I fucking know what I'm doing. There's like little sparks here and there where I feel like I'm getting a little bit better. So there we go. Yeah, it's been 4 years, so it is what it is. So y'all, thank you so much for joining me on this beautiful podcast, and we will see you on our next podcast. What that will be, episode 40 something, we'll find out when I do this editing. I mean, not editing, posting. So guys, thank you so much. We will see y'all tomorrow. Well, I'll see you next time. Have a great night. Peace and love.